So this is a first ride review of a BMW f800S. They didn't make a whole lot of these things. They made them for a couple years, from like 07 to 09 in the S form, and then I think you could only get the ST. If that's wrong, I will put up the correct years here. So what is this bike? It is a sport touring bike in the middleweight section. So what that gives you is an 800cc parallel twin, which is belt driven, and the flattest torque curve I think you could ever find. I mean, this thing is just you just got torque all the way across the power band, and there's nothing there that'll surprise you. As well as great soft suspension, ABS. The turn signals are kind of weird for a BMW. They're kind of like on the sides and stuff. And now I don't know how to turn them off. How do I turn it off? Okay, so I don't know how to turn the turn signal off. Alright, I'm just gonna go right forever then. But, yeah. Yep, don't know how to turn that off. Anyway, so, apart from, oh, it turned itself off. There we go, self-canceling. So the f800, you know, they put this motor in all kinds of things. Me personally, I kind of love the little motor. I feel like this would be a great learner bike because it's 100 horsepower, but it's not scary 100 horsepower. I think it's 83 horsepower, so it's close enough. So, you know, there's nothing scary about this bike that will intimidate you, but it's a good enough bike and a great chassis, so you won't have any problems with throwing it into corners or anything like that. Get a little bit of a highway blast. Yeah, I mean, that's just a flat power band. I mean, but it kicks. I mean, it will move. So the mirrors are great. They're kind of out there a bit, and you know, so they really look around your arms. You don't have to do a whole lot of finicky doing, you know, the chicken movement and stuff in order to be able to see. It kind of works out really good. The S comes with clip-ons, whereas the ST has, you know, kind of like the dirt bike style upright bars. I've ridden an 800R, and I feel that this S is much more comfortable than that naked bike was. Naked bike felt a bit like a scooter to me, so it's kind of nice. This seat is the most comfortable seat I've ever sat in. That mixed with the plush suspension, that, I mean, it's responsive, but it's soft. Like, I'm not wallowing all over, but I am comfortable. It's a damn magic carpet ride. Oh, there is another gear there. Nope, that's top gear. Alright, so this thing just lugs on the highway. We're at 4,200 RPM and doing 70. Not a whole lot of vibration. I mean, usually you get a lot of vibration from a twin, but compared to the S1000, which is my normal bike, this thing is smooth. I mean, just absolutely sublimely smooth. You do feel a little bit of vibration in your right arms, but it's a solid vibration. Kind of like a cushiony vibration, whereas, you know, you're usually the vibration's kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but it's soft. It's not going to make you go numb anywhere near as fast as, you know, a German four-cylinder, so to say, like the S1000. The S1000, I get about 2 hours, 2-3 hours worth of riding, and my fucking hand starts to go numb without weighted bar ends. This thing has substantially larger bar ends on it, and that's kind of handy. So this one's got almost 20,000 miles on it, 18.9, and the throttle sticks a little bit. which is actually kind of convenient right now because I have cruise control. So that's nice. Oh, try not to run into Mac. So the homemade cruise control works out pretty good. We're going uphill though, so I gotta give it a little bit more. You know, these things look really cool. I'm gonna give you a little bit of an overview of it once we get up here. Yeah, so my buddy's had this one for quite a long time. He just can't seem to bring himself to sell it, and I completely understand it, because whether you're a commuter or a learner, this bike is perfect. And you could actually probably do some long distance touring on this, but for anything, you know, longer than 4 or 5 hours, for me, I would want some more power. I mean, the 90 horsepower is nice, but you really don't feel it on the highway. Like, it's not a solid 80-90 horse like you get from a 600 or something like that. This is an all torque motor. I mean, this is almost, say, agricultural torque. I mean, because like, you can't, it doesn't feel like I'm going really fast. That's speed. And I mean, you can watch the needle move and, like, you know, like, you just take off, but you don't feel the power just kind of push you like all crazy. And I gotta figure out how to turn this turn signal off. But yeah, so you gotta get this thing up in the revs to really use that power. But there's absolutely plenty there. So yeah, I feel like this is the ultimate learner bike. If you've got a little bit deep pockets, this is still BMW money we're talking about. Second hand, you can probably pick these things up, if you find them, for about $4,000 or $5,000. New, they're $9,000, or they're between $7,000 to $9,000, depending on which model you get. The R's are a little bit cheaper, but second hand, you could probably pick one of these up. If you get one with 30,000 miles on it, you could probably pick it up for $3,000. I am somebody who is completely against the 250, 300. You know, that whole thing going on. I mean, if you don't think you can handle the power of a 600 or, you know, something a little bit bigger than that. There are tons of economy bikes and commuter bikes that will do great, like this f800. You know, this is like the ultimate learner bike. There's nothing that's going to jump out and bite you or surprise you about it. And this first gear, see, I mean, that was almost being completely open, and it took off like a rocket, but it didn't really try to wheelie on me or anything. And I'm not a big dude, really. I mean, I'm 200 pounds, 6 foot tall, so I'm kind of your average size for an American. Not a whole lot of stuff up here yet. Big monies haven't gotten here. So I don't like these turn signals, but this is before BMW went real mainstream. So this has still got some of the quirks, like it's got the weird starter and kill switch on it. And push the button down. Pretty simple starting procedure. It's just you got to get used to this guy. It's not like your normal bike. This thing's, it's interesting. It's sexy. I like the way it looks. I forgot to ask him how you cancel the turn signals. So you do feel a little bit of vibration in your butt, but it's not bad. So pros and cons of this bike is pretty simple. It's a pretty straightforward bike. It's a mid-range parallel twin, so you got tons of flat torque. It's super comfortable. I would say it's not as zippy as like a 600, what you would think of for an 800cc bike. It's not as quick as what you would think. But that's all right. I seriously think this is like the best learner bike I've ridden. It's way better than any, 300, 200. I have not ridden the KTM 390 yet, which, it won't have the power that this thing has, but I think the suspension will be a little better, and I think it might be a little bit more fun of a learner bike. This thing's super lightweight since the gas tank is under the seat. It's just nimble as can be. So I don't really have a whole lot of cons for this bike. It's a little bit vibey, a little bit bit of vibrations, but it does have ABS. That little warning light's on there telling me that the headlamp's out because it's got an HID and it's got LEDs in there as well. Oh, that's the turn signal cancel button. Okay. That's the other thing I don't really like, is it's got the quirky old BMW turn signals. I almost used the quick shifter. Doesn't have one. So it's got Harley style turn signals where the left turn signal's on the left hand side and the right turn signal's on the right hand side. I just open this thing up. It moves. It's pretty quick. I don't really have any cons for this bike. Besides, the controls are a little bit weird to get used to. And, I mean, that's about it. It's got some vibrations. And if you're looking for road racer status, you want a little bit stiffer suspension. And it could use some upside down forks. But, you know what? For what it is, it's a phenomenal bike. These didn't sell very much because they weren't very popular. They didn't really find a place to fit them in their range, you know, or where they fit in on the, you know, with the competition. There's very little wind resistance. This little windshield, I don't know if that's a stock one or not, but or stock size. It's tinted for sure, but I don't know if that's, you know, if that's stock or not, but it works great.